But everyone from celebrities to journalists, bands, and politicians use social media like Twitter and Facebook. What started as a way for computer nerds to socialize with other computer nerds, I didn't write this, has turned into an advertising blitz. And to talk more about social media and how it's changed the game is the 23-year-old CEO of Crowdbooster.com, Ricky Yeen. Ricky, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Hey, good morning. How are you doing?
We're doing fine, Ricky. You know, it was only going to be a matter of time that I thought that somebody would come along and tell us how to more effectively use these social medias to reach targeted audiences, and I guess Crowdbooster is doing just that.
Yeah, that's right.
So what is it you do? How do you determine what would be best for somebody who would like to reach out through Facebook and Twitter?
Well, Crowdbooster is a new online service that offers a smart social media dashboard, so you can use it to figure out how effectively are you using social media, and our technology works in the background to determine things like what are the best times for you to send out a message, so the message gets seen by the most number of people on Facebook, or what are the right people to interact with because they have high influence on Twitter, for example.
Gotcha. You know, before there was the Internet and Twitter and Facebook and the like, newspapers, radio, and television were effective ways that people could reach out and through advertising, but they had to figure out how to best channel their message, how to reach the audience they wanted. For instance, if you were selling cereal, you certainly didn't need to get to the senior citizens crowd. You'd like to sell that to the youngsters and so forth. So I'm going to guess what we're looking at here is Crowdbooster using that kind of information to channel your message through the Internet.
Yeah, and the most interesting part, I think, is because it's not only finding the right channel and finding the right audience, but developing a message that resonates with them, and it's a two-way medium, right? So you can actually get feedback from people who are interested in your cereal to understand what kind of content they would like to consume, and those feedback is measurable, and so we measure it. So you can figure out, okay, well, we should talk about the philosophy behind our cereal. We should talk about the behind-the-scenes operations, or the cereal itself, and that kind of stuff.
How much of this is analytical and figures and numbers, and how much of this is just common sense?
You know what? You'll be surprised. Actually, a lot of it is common sense. We present the information to the users in an analytical format with data-driven numbers. But really, what you end up realizing is the most effective messages are often the simple ones, the way you communicate, just like you communicate to a friend about why you are in business and why it's interesting. That's most of the time is common sense.
Yeah, and when you have only 140 characters for Twitter, you've got to actually. Yeah. You've got to actually make sure what you're saying is, the way you want it said before you even hit the word enter.
Yeah, and you can get feedback about it right away. And it's a very fast-paced and real-time medium, so you can change that up over time. It's okay if you say something wrong. Many companies have made mistakes, but they come out and apologize and be transparent and authentic about everything they're doing, and that over time builds trust with your customers. Again, it's a two-way street. So
now, Ricky, is Crowdbooster free for somebody who wanted to use it, or is there a fee involved?
There's free to start, and if you want advanced analytics, if you're a bigger company and you need things like multiple people need to work on the platform at the same time, then there's an upgrade option.
Yeah. Now, as I read it here, you're 23 years old and you're the CEO. It sounds like you've kind of put this program together, this idea, this concept together, and because of what you can do on the Internet, you could be a billionaire by the age of 24.
Well, that might be too soon, but we will see. What's really cool is that we grew up in this age. My co-founders, my teammates, and I grew up in this age, and we hate advertising the way it's usually done. And we thought it was really cool to be able to have a conversation with a brand like JetBlue about what they do, about their customer service. They even act like a a person who knows a lot about Hurricane Irene, so he can go up there and talk about Hurricane Irene and get all the information from them, because they're in the business of being the flight experts and being the customer care experts. So I love that better, and I would choose them because they're not just an airplane company. There are many, many airplane companies, but these guys have defined themselves as something more than that, and I drive with that, and that's the right advertising.
Well, we're running out of time, but Ricky, before we let you go, we know this is a startup, but how big a clientele do you have right now? What are some of the people or companies that are leaning toward Crowdbooster to help them out?
Well, there are tons of big and small companies. I just mentioned JetBlue. They are one of our clients, as well as celebrities like Lil Wayne and the agency behind Britney Spears. We also have many small companies like the Coupa Cafe in Palo Alto, and just marketers and different organizations here in the Bay Area and abroad.
All right. Ricky, the website, in case people would like to find out more information?
Crowdbooster.com. And also find us on Twitter and Facebook. Twitter.com/Crowdbooster.
Of course. Ricky, thanks so much for your time.
Oh, thank you so much. Take care.
You bet. 23-year-old Ricky Yeen. He is the CEO of Crowdboosters. And as you heard, some of their clientele, not only big companies like JetBlue, but celebrities as well. Who'd have thought?